Okay, here we go. Welcome to the show. Today, our guest is Miles Walker. He's an award-winning speaker and channel development manager at Graphis. He joined their team in 2020 after 15 years in sales and marketing. And he is now based in Vancouver, where his professional career started in radio at 104.9 XFM after studying marketing and sales and international business at Capilano University. When he's not playing basketball, traveling, sailing, or collecting street art, he is evangelizing all things cybersecurity through his LinkedIn videos and, of course, at events and virtual events. Miles, thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
So earlier this week, I think I saw you jumping into ice cold water in one of your LinkedIn videos. Is that true?
Well, I'll go with I was pushed in, but yes, I spent some time in the Arctic tundra off of the coast of Vancouver here, and it was pretty horrendous. I'm not going to lie to you.
And so tell me, I don't usually see people freezing their butts off on LinkedIn. Why did you do that? What's the point of the Arctic tundra on the professional platform LinkedIn?
Well, to be honest, because we have an anti-phishing solution, a lot of the content's around cybersecurity, malware, ransomware, and of course, phishing is one of the main things I talk about. And I don't get out of the boat very often in the winter because it is terribly cold, especially on the water. And I just had the epiphany that, you know what, maybe it's worth hopping into that ice cold water and filming a fishing video because we had just been crabbing and we had caught nothing. So I had to come back with something.
Had to come back with something, maybe some more engagement on LinkedIn. So, we're all about getting more eyeballs on important information because in the B2B space, everything can get a little technical and dry. And this podcast is all about humanizing content. Fun, humor, and being a little bit outrageous can be a great way to do it. Is that what you found with your LinkedIn journey?
Yeah. I mean, I find putting up boring links to articles, you don't get a lot of eyeballs, you don't get a lot of likes, you don't get a lot of comments, and doing stuff a little bit outside the box has always worked for me, and I've kind of brought that into the LinkedIn sphere of the Graphis world.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I love it. And, we first met at the SMB Tech Fest virtual event, and it was a great event. I learned a lot, but the presentations are, a lot of what you expect in our world. And then boom, all of a sudden you were on my screen in full rain gear with the pointy yellow hat and kind of crappy fish graphics all over the screen. And I was totally caught off guard. A smile came across my face. I said, what is this guy talking about? Well, it turns out you were talking about fishing with a PH, but you stole the show and reignited, my interest in the programming right at that point where I needed a second cup of coffee.
Oh, well, I like to hear that. Well, thank you for the kind words. Yeah, SMB Tech Fest. I'm actually going to be doing some in person, so hopefully we get to meet up in person. And I just found out I'm actually going to be in your neck of the woods in Arizona in early April. So definitely we'll meet up for a beer. But yeah, that SMB Tech Fest was fun. Full fishing gear, and we took home the award for best innovation from the show.
That is awesome. And yeah, I mean, what I love about that, we've won an innovation award ourselves, and I was kind of surprised to hear it. But the lesson it taught me was, innovation just doesn't mean doing something completely new. It just means doing something new for your space or your vertical or your area. And I guess if it's, you can cut that a lot of different ways, but I think the fishing, your fishing approach and getup is a lot of fun, and I think it contributes to getting that attention. Obviously, it's a great way to get attention at events, either virtually or in person. You got fun stuff going on with the LinkedIn videos, but you really want to engage with your prospects and customers. And I was hoping you could tell me about what you've done with IT Trivia Masters.
Yeah, so that's something that's part of our one of our sister companies up here in Vancouver, which is called IT Glue. So we're coming up with a trivia series where we basically run trivia events for the tech community. You don't have to be in cybersecurity. It's anybody in tech can come and show up. And the great thing about that is we get great sponsors who give away great prizes. So the most recent event we did, which was I was either a week or two ago, I can't really remember. All these days are kind of coming into one right now. But we gave away drones, we gave away golf ball finders, and then probably my favorite thing we gave a yearly subscription for bourbon. So you get a different bottle of bourbon every month for the year.
And did you play with the winnings? So you ended up with that prize, or did you give it away fairly?
Sadly, I was doing my best Alex Trebek / Pat Sajak / Bob Barker. So I didn't get to use the golf ball finder, practice with the drone, or drink any of the bourbon. But you know what? I know those MSPs and IT tech people who won the prizes will hopefully give me a call at some point, or take me out onto the links, or maybe invite me over for a bourbon or two, hopefully.
I bet. I mean, you're fun to hang out with. I can't wait for you to come to Arizona so we can grab that beer, or maybe a bunch of different bourbons while we fly our drones. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I actually did my first trip to Arizona in December, and I don't know if you know this, but I was actually born in a small fishing village in southern England, in a county called Cornwall, which is known for fishing, actual fishing, like this, not on the computer. And they're also known for a thing called Cornish pasties. And I show up in Scottsdale to meet up with my team there, and I just pop in my hotel, look for restaurants in the surrounding area, and they have something that completely shocked me. You guys have a chain of Cornish pasty restaurants and bars in Arizona.
And they're good. Did you get a chance to eat there?
Okay, hold on 1 sec. Hold on. And I swear this was not planned.
All right. Yes, you did. Nice.
So we actually went there on 2 occasions. One, the first night on my own, because I was there a day early, because I wanted to go visit some ghost towns in Arizona. And then I took my team. We had like a night out, and I took my team to a Phoenix Suns game, and we stopped for dinner and a drink at the Cornish Pasty restaurant downtown Phoenix. So I went to 2, and I couldn't believe a little slice of my hometown was in Phoenix. So I was very appreciative of that.
That's awesome. You remember which one you got? I know I have a couple different favorites.
Oh, so you've been?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Okay. I know I had the pepper steak. And then I'll be a little bit crazy here, but I did the cheeseburger, and that was very American, because you would never find that in England. But I was like, when I'm in England, I'll do like the potato and steak, but I'm in America, so a little cheeseburger action in a pasty.
And it's good, right?
Very, very. And great beers too, great ciders. Like, I was like, this is a chain that I want to bring up to Canada, because this would do so well.
That's funny. Yeah, no, it's been one of my favorites for a while, and it's I'm glad I brought you a strange slice of home when you were in Scottsdale.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I mean, to be honest, I've traveled all over the world, never seen any Cornish pasty restaurant, it's hard to find them enough in Canada, and we're one of the most British nations in the world, and I can still only find them every so often. So to come down there and see 5 of them in one state, I'm sold. Arizona, here I come.
Coming back in April. Cool. Well, we'll be excited to have you. So looping back to IT Trivia Masters, I was just curious,
Sure.
How did that start? What kind of engagement do you guys get? You're getting great prizes out there. I'm guessing people have a lot of fun. And the last one I saw had quite a few people. How many people turn out for these events?
So we typically get a couple hundred per show. And I think the biggest thing that people are dealing with, especially over the COVID times, the last 2 years, there's so much stuff online. There's Zooms, webinars, podcasts, and this is something that we can do where people aren't pressured into having to give over their details for a high selling atmosphere. And most people who go onto webinars and events nowadays, they'll get the spiel, but then at the end, they're going to get a pretty hard pitch. And that often happens. With us, we like to take that away. The Trivia Masters is really just about us getting out there, sharing with the community, giving back, and letting the opportunity to win some prizes. And so I think it's been really refreshing. A lot of people have reached out to me personally and said they love it, because it's nice to come on and not be hard sold.
Absolutely. And you're building brand awareness, and you're showing them that you're people that they probably want to work with, not people that are trying to trick them, but people that are interested in fostering a real relationship and giving something back and having some fun along the way.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I think, because we hosted, I mean, there was four hosts on this one. We had two of the other suppliers host, and I helped out. And we had my boss's boss, Jackie, who was on there as well. And I think they see that we're actually human. With all these events and not getting to see people in person, people still do want to do business with people they like. I mean, if you're looking at our phishing solution or another phishing solution, and maybe they're quite similar, you're going to probably go with the person you talk to and you have a personal relationship with. So to actually get onto a call to see how we are in person or virtually and realize that we are a human being, that definitely is something that a lot of the people out there listening and watching seem to like.
Yeah, I think so. And even if they don't go with you, they know they can call you and get straight answers. Hey, I'm evaluating Graphis. I'm evaluating a competitor. We're really curious about this one piece of it. Like, which one should I choose? And they can, trust you to guide them in the right direction, because I know that you want them to find the best solution too. But just having that relationship or the perception that they're comfortable talking to you, you're going to win more deals because more people are going to come to you with those questions.
Well, totally. And I mean, lots of people have, sales centers all over the world these days. I mean, whether it's in the Philippines or Indiana or India or even Singapore. So it's nice to know that they actually have somebody that they can get a hold of who's maybe not completely on their time zone. I know you're an hour ahead of me, but who's within a couple hours of them, who can actually get something done. If they have a question, they don't have to just reach out to someone out in the ether and not hear back for a few days. So that's a big thing. That's probably the biggest reason why we're pushing ourselves in the channel, is that we're here. We might be the face of a business, but we're also here to help if people have questions, or at least steer them in the right direction.
Yeah, and that accessibility is huge, right? When you're trying to make a decision help a client make a decision, I need answers now. I need to go to Slack or Teams, or I need to jump on LinkedIn where I can shoot you a message and I know you'll respond. So it's having, knowing people have your back and have your back quickly is huge. So the trivia serves that purpose for you guys. Do you have anything else planned, like Trivia Masters, to get out there, give back to the community and show people who you really are?
Well, one thing we were doing this past year, which I really enjoyed, is I got to do question and answer sessions with thought leaders in the community. So over the past couple months, I interviewed Tony Sales. He's known as Britain's greatest fraudster. So he is a very interesting character. I'll say that. I'm guessing, Andrew, you've seen the movie Snatch?
I have, yeah.
He is like a character out of that movie. And I remember on my first call with him, he was telling me what city he was in, and I could barely see him, and he was in his car, and I'm like, I feel like I'm at the start of Snatch with Jason Statham right now, and he's from East London. He's quite the character, and I got to pick his brain and hear about his life. So he just published a book, which is a bestseller in the UK, and he just spent some time in prison, and he got out, and he told me his story about the world before cyber crimes, and then after the virtual world came into play, how he did his scams through the internet, through computer systems. And so part of what I get to do is interview these thought leaders. So I got to interview him recently, a guy named Freaky Clown, or he goes by the acronym FC. And he is one of the most famous ethical hackers in the world. And so he actually gets brought in by large banks, large businesses, to see where their vulnerabilities are. So he'll get brought in by Bank of America, and they'll give him basically access as if he was like a local worker and say, go to town, see what you can do and see what you can mess up. And then we know what areas we need to improve on. So part of what I get to do is chat with these amazing speakers. The last one I did in September was Rachel Wilson, who's known as the Queen of the Hackers. She's one of the most senior women who was at the top of the FBI for cybercrimes. And now she runs Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, their cybercrimes division. So the stories she had for us were incredible. So we like to do stuff that are kind of out of the box, where we show people a little bit about our world, and we get to interview people that we wouldn't normally get to talk to. And, then the people can decide for themselves what they want to do next.
I love it. A lot of what we want to do with this show is encourage more humanization in marketing, and humanization in how we deal with one another, at big enterprises and in the channel. If someone was interested in starting to launching something new, like a trivia or doing these interviews, what kind of advice do you have them to try something new, and what encouragement would you give to, take a step towards doing something that's a little different than the status quo?
Probably the biggest thing is don't be afraid to fail, because a lot of the times when you first start these, you might only get 10 or 20 people watching or listening or participating. And you know what? It's going to happen. You got to grow your following. So for a small business trying to do something like this, just go for it. I mean, you can do this on a couple $100 budget, which is great. Obviously, suppliers will jump on board if you have a good relationship with a few of them. But I mean, start small and go from there. I know we started with smaller prizes, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. I know this past year, we had an event that I did with our sister company, IT Glue, called Glue Talks. And that one was incredible. And we got to interview Wayne Gretzky, who's, probably the most famous Canadian out there. And the year before, my old boss got to interview Magic Johnson. So, these events that are out there in the community, in the channel, are amazing, because they are really trying to bring in, legendary speakers that will, not only get people interested in showing up, but will also leave them with something. I know we have an event coming up in June in Vegas, which I'm going to probably send you an email and say, you got to come and join me in Vegas. If the missus will allow it, of course. And we have Terry Bradshaw as one of our keynotes. And then we have Frank Abagnale as our other keynote. Do you know who that is?
I do. Catch me if you can.
Yeah. So that's what we got so far. And we're looking at some events in the fall as well. And we got some really cool speakers lined up for that as well. So I always say, if you can get out and come to some of these events, even if it's not in your specific realm, you're going to have a good time.
I think that's all great advice. I think curious to get your take on it, but I've always been blown away by how generous a lot of these really interesting folks are with their time and willingness to engage with you, to do a small interview or something like that. I think it's a lot easier to access really interesting people and speakers than might be widely accepted.
Yeah, and I mean, people are quite surprised who ends up showing up for these events as well. I mean, I know one of the events we were on earlier this year, Gary Vee was the keynote, and I've always loved Gary Vee's content. So to see him speak, we had one of the sharks from Shark Tank in Vegas come, and he just showed up. We didn't even know he was coming, and he just showed up and was jumping on one of the panels. So a lot of these guys end up showing up last minute, which is great, because it adds so much to a conference.
Shark Tank fishing. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not putting it together quick enough.
I'll have to get him in on one of the videos. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, Miles, we know you're a master of getting some attention by being a little bit of a goofball and embracing the fun side of this crazy life in the B2B world. But I'm curious, how good are you at clicking your mouse and playing tap to flap?
So I don't play as much video games now as I used to, but I am ready to give this a go. I like it. I'm ready, but I'm not promising anything. I know the high score is probably crazy though.
We'll see. But I'm going to have you click the link in the chat there and then click the share button so we can take a look at your screen.
Okay. So do I just tap? Then I just tap to flap? You want to set this up right now?
Absolutely. So as soon as you get started, I'm going to start a 1-minute timer, and you're clicking to make your little eyeball flap through the obstacles. If you get a game over, it'll record your high score and you can just start over and go again. So we're going to get your highest score from the minute. It's all going to be recorded. You don't have to worry about any of that. And if you're still flapping at the end of the minute, I'm going to let you keep going. So I'm going to start the timer as soon as you're ready. Just give it a click.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this.
Go.
Wow, that was not good.
It's a hard game.
So I wonder if I have because I have a Mac here. I wonder if that's the reason why I'm so bad at this.
I don't know. See if you can click it a couple times to get you going up, and then let it fall to go through one of the first obstacles. Kind of got to get a feel for it. There you go.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. I think I got it. Okay. Now I've figured it out.
It's all about that rhythm of clicks. It's tough.
Yeah. This Mac only has one clicker, so that's my issue here. God, I'm looking terrible here.
There you go. Yes. One is better than zero. You got it.
Hey,
One more try.
I got to redeem myself here.
Oh, one. All right. Well, guess what, Miles?
I got two. So
you got two. All right. Right at the end there, you got a score of 2, and I've got great news for you. That is the high score
of the day.
That's the high score of the show. Matt Henzer, guest number 1, got 1, and Miles Walker, guest number 2, got 2. So congratulations.
Well, what do they say? Set the bar low, because then they're going to be appreciative to anything you do above that. There you go. Setting the bar low. There's Miles.
there's some motivational words to live by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for playing, being a good sport. It's a very tricky, tough game. One of the reasons that folks love to come back, play every day, and why it's such a powerful tool in the incentive pilot program for getting almost 80% engagement with enablement content. But Miles, I love your approach. I'm so glad we connected and got in touch. If other people want to get in touch with you, learn about Graphis, or continue the conversation with you, where's the best place to find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm going to put the link in the chat or send it to you right now. And miles.walker@graphis.ai is my email. But yeah, I'd love you to come on to LinkedIn, follow me, have a chat, and see if maybe an anti-phishing solution is in your future, of course.
Awesome. Well, I hope to see you in April when you come to Arizona. But for now, thanks for coming on the show, and I'll see you soon.
Sounds good, Andrew. Thanks for having me.